Good morning. My name is Lavinia Brown. This is my reading practicum class here at Plantation Elementary School. This is a kindergarten classroom with 21 students. The subject area is language arts. I will be doing a reading aloud, and the reading component that I will target in this lesson is comprehension and a little bit of vocabulary. The title of my lesson plan is The Little Red Hen, Farm Animals. I have 21 students in the classroom, which consists of 10 boys and 11 girls. There are 3 ESC students and there are no ESOL students. I have 2 standards for this lesson. The first one is with prompting and support. Ask and answer questions about key details in a text. Ask and answer such questions as who, what, where, when, why, and how to demonstrate understanding of key details in a text. The learning outcomes for my lesson are that the students will be able to ask and answer questions with 80% accuracy by the end of this lesson. The students will also be able to ask and answer questions such as who, what, where, when, why, and how from the text with 80% accuracy by the end of the lesson. The instructional materials and technology that I will use to teach this lesson are my laptop, my projector, my whiteboard, my book, the Little Red Hen. I will also have a video audio of the Little Red Hen. I'll have the students reading journals, crayons, markers, a story map that I have created, worksheets, and also a cartoon strip. For my entry event, I will begin this lesson by activating some background knowledge to see what my students know about the subject. So what I will do for this part of the lesson is to get the students engaged, I will ask them some questions about farms and farm animals just to get them engaged in the lesson to see what do they know. So some of the questions that I will ask them are, have you seen a farm before? Where have you seen a farm? Have you been to a farm before? I will also ask them if they know any farm animals. So for example, if they tell me a cow, I would ask them what sound the cow makes. If they say goat, I will also ask them what sound, and they will tell me the sound. For example, the goat says meh, the cow says moo. So just to see what the students know about the subject, and so they can connect with the students. I will show a short video on the different types of farm animals after I'm finished with the discussion about farms and farm animals.
Smile and learn! Hello friends! Do you like animals? I love them! Today we're going to learn about farm animals! It got dark again. I'll use my flashlight to find them. I can see a silhouette over there. Which animal could that be? It's a cow! Cow! I love having cow milk for breakfast. Cow! I see another silhouette there. Let's see which animal is that. It's a horse! Horse! Horses are really fast. Horse! Let's see some other animals in this farm. It's a sheep! Sheep! This sheep is so soft. Sheep! Let's see what we can find around here. It's a hen! Hen! Hens lay eggs. Hen! Let's see what we have over here. It's a rabbit. Rabbit. I love rabbit ears. Rabbit. There's another silhouette over there. What could it be? It's a donkey. Donkey. Donkeys say, hee-haw. Donkey. Let's see what other animals there are. It's a goat. Goat. Oops, goats have horns. Goat. And this is a silhouette of a dog. Dog. Dogs are humans' best friend. Dog. And that silhouette down there, it's a duck. Duck. Look at that beak. Duck. I think there's one silhouette left. It's a cat. Cat. Cats are very swift. Cat. My, so many animals. Shall we recap them so I won't forget them? Cow. Horse. Sheep. Hen. Rabbit. Donkey. Goat. Dog. Duck. Cat. Oops, it's getting late. I'm heading back home to make it for dinner. See you around.
The Little Red Hen. Okay, so what I will do first, I will introduce the vocabulary words. The vocabulary words that I pulled from the story The Little Red Hen are hen, duck, dog, cat, wheat, mix, flour, and bread. So I will give some examples using visuals to show these students, and I will also use scenario to explain the vocabulary words, and we will have a short discussion. After that, I will play the audio video for the students. This is a great visual to use to allow them to connect with the story. So I'm going to pull up the audio book. The Little Red Hen.
This is the story of the Little Red Hen. Are you ready? Okay. The Little Red Hen. Pause it. This is the story of the Little Red Hen. Are you ready? Okay. The Little Red Hen. The Little Red Hen. Really good story. Once there was a little red hen who lived in a barnyard with her 3 chicks, and a duck, and a pig, and a cat. Look at them, just hanging out. She's over there, sweetness. Is that what the duck said? Quack, quack. One day, the little red hen found some grains of wheat. Look, look, she clucked. Who will help me plant this wheat? Not I, quacked the duck, and he waddled away. Not I, winked the pig, and he trotted away. Not I, meowed the cat, and he paddled away. Then I will plant it myself, said the little red hen, and she did. Then the wheat was tall and golden. The little red hen knew it was ready to be cut. Who will help me cut the wheat? She asked. Not I, said the duck. Not I, said the pig. Not I, said the cat. Then I will cut the wheat myself, said the little red hen. And did. The miller ground the wheat into fine white flour and put it into a sack for the little red hen. That When she returned to the barnyard, the little red hen asked, "Who will help me make this flour into dough?" "Not I," said the duck, the pig, and the cat all at once. "Then I will make the dough myself," said the little red hen, and she did. When the dough was ready to go into the oven, the little red hen asked, "Who will help me bake the bread?" "Not I," said the duck. "Not I," said the pig. "Not I," said the cat. "Then I will bake it myself," said the little red hen, and she did. So soon the bread was ready. As she took it from the oven, the little red hen asked, "Who will help me eat this warm, fresh bread?" "I will," said the duck. "I will," said the pig. "I will," said the cat. "No, you won't," said the little red hen. "You wouldn't help me plant the seeds, cut the wheat, go to the miller, make the dough, or bake the bread. Now my 3 chicks and I will eat this bread ourselves." All the chicks are happy. And that's just what they did.
So now that they have watched the audio video, we will have a short discussion about the characters in the story, where did the story take place, and what happened. Then I will also go ahead and read the actual book. After I read the book and we discuss the story, engaging the students as I read the book and after I read the book, I will then create a story map with the students. I'll have a story map on a big construction paper and also a smaller copy for the students to paste in their reading journals. So after we've gone through the story, doing the discussions and discussing the moral of the story, I will let the students know that when you are lazy, you don't get a reward. That is the moral of the story. For example, if they don't do their schoolwork, their activities, when I give it to them, they will not be able to get a reward. So that's what I want the students to grasp from this lesson. After we have gone through the discussion and I have talked about the story map, we'll talk about the characters. Who are the different characters in the story? How many characters were in the story? The setting, where did the story take place? What was the problem? The problem was when the little red hen asked her friends to help her plant the seed. They kept on saying, "Not I." Also, when it was time to thresh the wheat, they said, "Not I." When it was time to grind the wheat into flour and she asked for help, they kept on saying, "Not I." When it was time to use the flour to make the bread, they also said, "Not I." So the little red hen had to do everything by herself. However, when it was time to eat, they all wanted to, but the little red hen ate the bread all by herself along with her 3 children, her 3 chicks. So after we have gone through the discussion, the story map, the vocabulary words, then I will proceed to asking the students some guided comprehension questions. Some of the questions that I will ask the students are, how many characters are in the story? Who were the characters in the story? What did the little red hen use to make the bread? What did the little red hen friends kept saying when she asked for help? Those are some of the questions that I will ask to get them engaged, to test their comprehension skills. So they'll raise their hands and answer me as I ask these guided questions, and this will be a form of how I will assess them formally. Also, I will give them a paper with the words, "Not I, squeal the pig," "Not I, quack the duck," not I, Meow the cat, and I will ask them if they see a common pattern throughout the story. So when they tell me not I, then we will have a discussion about it, and then they'll paste that in their reading journals as well. After they have done that, then I will give them a worksheet to do. On the worksheet, I will ask the questions like, who are the characters in the story? Where did the setting take place? What was the problem? What they will have to do is paste the correct picture beside the correct questions. These are pictures that I have coded out for them. So they will have all the answers to the questions, and they will just have to paste it. Paste the correct questions, the correct pictures beside the correct questions. So that will be an activity for them. I will walk around to check to see how well they're working, how are they understanding. I will ask questions and prove their thinking, constantly encouraging them to do the work and to see what they know. After that, I will proceed to the next section, which is the experimental section. For this part of the lesson, I want the students to work together. I want them to be able to collaborate with each other. I want to put different level students in different groups. So what I will do, I will put students in groups of 4. I will do the cooperative learning style, and I will use the think, pair, share activity for this portion of the lesson. So I will ask the student to discuss among themselves these questions. Do you agree or disagree that the little red hen should have eaten the bread by herself? So first they will work with a partner within the group, and then they will work together as a group to discuss it. Then each group will share their response with the entire class, and we will have a discussion together as a group about why we disagree or agree that the little red hen should have eaten the bread by herself. I will also go over the moral of the story, and just to test the students' understanding, get them to be engaged, get their opinion, and to see if they're understanding the concept of this story, the Little Red Hen. Okay. So to close out this lesson, I will review the story again with the students. After I review, I will model to them what I want them to do for this portion of the lesson. I will share with the students my favorite part of the story. I will also show them, I will also draw to show them my favorite part of the story, which was when the little red hen ate the bread all by herself along with her 3 children. I will then ask each student to share with the class something they learned from the story or what was their favorite part of the story. I will then ask them to draw it in their journal, and then after they are finished, they will share their response with the class, and I will give feedback. Accommodations and or modifications. I provided the story map, which is a visual. I provided a picture dictionary. I also provided the worksheet and the cutout visuals for them to use as a way of accommodating the different students. For my ESC and my ESOL students, if I have any. I didn't have any ESOL student, but if I had, I would use wait time. I would give them more time to think of their answer. I will work with them on a one-to-one basis as necessary, and the same thing goes for my ESC students. ELL strategies. As I mentioned, there were no ELL students in the class. However, if there were, these are the strategies that I would implement in my lesson. For example, before I begin to talk about the story, I would introduce the vocabulary words to them. I would use clear and simple words. I provided visuals, the story map, the audio video, the picture dictionary. I would provide larger prints for them. So whatever materials I'm giving them, I would make sure the print is larger than for the rest of the students in the class. And the same thing for my ESC students. I also provided a cartoon strip that I made for my ELL students and ESC students. So they will have all these materials to help them to understand the story. They work in the Think, Pair, Share, the cooperative learning group. That was a great way to get all my students to be engaged. Within the group, I made sure I had students that are on different reading levels. For example, an A level with a B level, ELL students and an ESC student. I did not put students who are on the same level in the same group. I provided one-to-one assistance to the students as necessary. Differentiated instruction. For my below average students, they were given the story map and the different visuals. For my average students, the lesson can be implemented as I designed it. For my above average students, they would be able to do more challenging activities. For example, in the closing activity where I asked them to tell me something, to draw and tell me something that they liked or their favorite part from the story, I would have asked them to write a sentence to describe it. I would appeal to the different learning needs in the class: verbal, visual, mathematical. 21st century competencies, critical thinking. The students will have to think about the question that I asked. Do you agree or disagree that the little red hen should have eaten the bread by herself? So they would have to think to come up with an answer within the group. Collaboration, they work together, they talk among themselves, they have a discussion. Creativity, when they drew their favorite part of the story, they were able to show off their artistic side by drawing something that they liked from the story, their favorite part, or something they learned. Communication, they answered me aloud when I asked them the guided questions. They also collaborate within the Think, Pair, Share group. Integration of literacy. How will I integrate reading, writing, and oral language skills in this lesson? Reading. The students will read the vocabulary words. They will also read and write in their reading journals. Oral language. The students will have to work in groups to participate within the discussion. How am I going to assess these students for this lesson? I will visit each group. For the group activity, the Think, Pair, Share activity, I will walk around, assessing the students, listening to them within the group, proving their thinking, and constantly asking them questions. I will also use visual representation to check for mastery and constantly giving them feedback and encouragement in order for them to complete the activities effectively. I would also assess them formally by using an exit ticket. And the way how I will use the exit ticket is I will create a sheet. I will have a smiley face, a not so happy face, and a sad face. And based on how the student think that they understood the story, they would put a check mark. For example, if they think they got it, they would put a check mark beside the smiley face. If they did not quite understand it, they would put a check mark beside the not so happy face, and then beside the sad face, they would put a check mark saying that they did not get it. How will I assess them? Summative assessment. I will use a rubric to determine if the students have clearly understand the story. I would also ask them similar questions as I asked earlier when I gave them when I was asking them the comprehension guided questions. So that is the way how I would assist my students for this lesson. Extension. How would I reteach this lesson to everyone in the classroom? I would incorporate drama. Drama is a great way to engage the students. For example, I would put the students in groups, and within the groups, each person would be one of the characters. You would have the little red hen, the duck, the pig, the cat. You will have someone mixing the flour, so they will get to act it out. This will help them to connect more with the lesson and understand the story. How would I remediate this lesson? Depending on what questions and what area, based on the story map and how the students answer the questions, I would do a mini lesson to support the students. I would also work with students who need help on a one-to-one basis. Enrichment. How would I teach this to the students, my above average students? I would create more divergent questions for them based on Bloom's taxonomy. I would create questions where they would have to think, open-end questions where they're not answering yes or no, where they would have to think to give me details. For example, what would you do if you were the little red hen when you kept asking your friends to help you? So for my above average students, the more advanced students, I would create more divergent questions for them based on Bloom's taxonomy. I would create open-end questions for them, not closed-end questions. So instead of asking them questions that require just a yes or no answer or just a one word, I would ask them questions that will allow them to think, to enhance their critical thinking skills. For example, one of the questions that I would ask them would be, what would you do if you were the little red hen? And when you keep asking your friends for help, they would not help you. What would you do? So that's one of the questions that I would ask my advanced students. Reflection. After watching the video, after I have taught the lesson, I realized that most of the students understood the story about the little red hen. They were able to identify the different characters. They were able to identify where the story took place. They were able to identify the pattern in the story, the problem, the solution. However, there were some students that still need some more help. So what I would do, I would assist them on a one-to-one basis depending on what they need. I would create a mini lesson. I would also implement games. I would provide more visuals, and I would also implement drama. As I mentioned earlier, I would allow the students to be characters in the story. That will allow them to connect with the story on a deeper level. The think, pair, share activity that I created for them, they worked well in the group. The students collaborated with each other to answer the discussion questions. Everyone was engaged. They shared their answer as a group and as a class. As an effective teacher, I will continue to model good reading for my students to help them to develop their comprehension skills and vocabulary and other reading components. I believe that the strategies that I use in this lesson will allow the students to enhance their vocabulary and comprehension skills. In the future, like I mentioned before, I will definitely implement games and allow the students to be characters that will allow them to connect with the story on a deeper level when I'm doing a read aloud lesson. Thank you.